So what happened last night? Doppler radar just took things over. Is that what happened last night, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, Mother Nature, too much lightning. I mean, that was the thing. The rain came in, but the lightning, we saw it in person, but just on the radar, it was going to be around for 3 or 4 hours. Both coaches, they already got in almost 4 quarters of football. Both coaches are like, it's good. We've got 3 more preseason games to get through. Let's protect everybody, especially people in the stands. So they called it. And Rich, it was actually, for the first half, one of the more entertaining Hall of Fame games that we've seen in years. I mean, the offense is moving up and down the field. That was pretty good. But the coaches were kind of like, we've done enough. Let's make it safe for everybody. And that was that. And the Bears are 1-0 in the preseason.
And both teams have a lot of hype around them. You know, Houston as a team that can actually dethrone the Chiefs in the conference. And the Bears, we all know they're about to get their Hard Knocks star turn. What did you glean from both of the teams being around them at all?
Well, the Hard Knocks crews were there. First off, very much. The Hard Knocks crews were there, so we'll see some of this on Hard Knocks. But, I mean, a couple things you gleaned. You know, I've been to the Texans training camp, and Rich, they're so deep. You add a Stephon Diggs to Nico Collins and Tank Dell and some of the guys there. You trade for Joe Mixon. Their offensive line already is very good. Their defense is 2 layers deep. They are 2 layers deep at every level. It is insane, the talent. So you see them, the way DeMeco Ryans was pushing them. When I'd been there, they'd been in pads for 3 or 4 consecutive days. But they all have the buy-in. So there's that part. And then when it comes to the Bears, I mean, and it's a true storyline, a true narrative we've all talked about. Caleb Williams is walking into a roster that Ryan Poles, he's giving him Keenan Allen, he's giving him DJ Moore. They've got running backs. You know, they go out and they get DeAndre Swift to add to some players like Rashawn Johnson, that we saw last night, looked very good. There's some pieces on that defense. Remember, the Bears finished with the top run defense in the NFL last year. So we'll see how Caleb Williams adjusts. We'll see how his new offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, adjusts. That's one thing that's got to come together. But they have some expectations. And Ryan Poles said they're not running from any of it. Okay, not from the quarterback. Because I asked him, I said, you guys are playing the Texans. Caleb is going to be compared to what C.J. Stroud did as a rookie. Ryan Poles is like, fine. You can set the bar whatever you want to be at, and Caleb Williams is going to run his own race. But standards, bars, whatever you want to call them, that's what they are going to buy into and try and exceed. And we'll see, because they're playing in a very tough division. But the Detroit, the Green Bay Packers are going to be good. The Vikings, you know, we don't know what they're going to be with their quarterback situation. But I like the fact that both of these teams aren't running from expectation, and they're embracing it heading into 2024.
I've asked this of all of our colleagues that have been kind enough to answer the call to come on this program. Which team do you feel, draft, offseason, free agency, now in training camp, seeing them or not, or hearing about what you're hearing about, has fixed whatever 2023 caused them to trip up in? And that might even include the Chiefs offensively too. Like, which team do you think has improved itself for 2024 the most?
Wow. I mean, I've got to go back to a couple of teams I've seen. I mean, the Houston Texans, I mean, going out and getting a Stephon Diggs, adding a Danielle Hunter to that pass rush, and a player no one really talks about, Azeez Al-Shaair, a linebacker who played for DeMeco Ryans in San Francisco, was fantastic, and tackling machine with the Titans. He is now with a very, very good linebacking crew in Houston. They understood what they had to do. They added some veteran players who won. That's key, because a lot of teams in free agency had veteran players who are talented who come from teams who haven't won. Texans added guys who've won before and maybe can help some of these young players understand what it takes to break through. You know, they're a team, and then looking at, you know, the Detroit Lions too, going out and getting DJ Reader, defensive tackle, to play with next to Liam McNeil, to fortify their defense a little bit, getting Kevin Zeitler to go in and play guard on their offensive line where they lost Jonah Jackson. And then they just took care of their own. I mean, good grief, the contracts they're paying some of their offensive players and the buy-in that they have with Dan Campbell. Again, those are 2 good teams that we saw last year, who I think addressed some areas that could maybe push them to get back to the conference championship or into the conference championship, maybe make a run at Super Bowls.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.